Well, good evening. How are you doing tonight? Late night rando top 16 casual boots tournament in action. We've got Ace versus Buane. These guys are all set, ready to go. Hopefully, in this case, they're going to be able to move fast with those boots and a sword. You know, nothing's going to be able to stop them from dashing every which way. Maybe a couple bonks here and there, but we're always going for, and maybe they'll actually even get that coveted, sub-hour or maybe even, a 51-minute finish, like what happened a couple days ago. Dazed, how is it going? Are you ready for some speed?
I think I'm ready for some speed. Wait, I gotta try that again. I think, never mind. I was gonna go feel the need for speed, but man, never mind. A little too late.
No, I mean, well, like a good thing, we have all of Escape right now to basically go from this. I cannot wait basically for. I certainly know that Buane is a very, he's certainly very motivated in order to try to get that sub 5 or maybe even that 5 escape. Certainly going to be a very good time. And these guys are pretty, pretty talented. Certainly no strangers to the community. No stranger casual boots. Very expect some, good execution throughout. Everyone's gotten so good, Days. What has happened in the last, like, I don't know, couple years? Like, it's like every mode, that used to be, quote unquote difficult or fun or standard or whatever, like, everyone's just gotten so good. Like, the average times just come down so much.
There is no. God, look at this sink.
It's the sink, right? This is beautiful.
I mean, it's just yeah. I mean, everybody has gotten so much better at this game that it is just kind of ridiculous. There, like you're just watching these guys. There, Buane takes a slight lead because he hit the door perfectly instead of that. But then again, okay, so this is crazy. So it's casual boots. So we're gonna see these guys dash through escape as quickly as they can. They got a master sword just to make this even a little bit easier. If the game really wants to be nice, it's gonna chuck us a mirror in AceZer0 here. But yeah, we're looking at these guys about 5 minutes of just flying through this first part of the game as quickly as possible. Then we're gonna start to the rando.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, you mentioned, Master Sword, we do get, some sword beam action, actually can be pretty helpful in some cases, especially for this, just like that. Who needs a spin? You just kind of slash in, a couple ways and the blue guard's gone. Hopefully should be, a little bit faster on the ball and chain guard as well. You can, get a spin for Master Sword, does some temper sword damage.
Yeah, that is true. If you can, with Master Sword here, you can definitely go ahead and if you line yourself up right with a spin there, you can do a double hit on the ball and chain guard and just take him out in one shot, which is much quicker than pretty much you can do usually here. As we find our small key there sitting in the boomerang chest.
Yeah, and no map so far, which means that there's still that potential in order to save an extra 3 seconds. Try to maybe we can skip out of the sink chest, but there are lots of close chests left to go. But yeah, also maybe we'll find, as you said earlier, maybe we'll find a mirror right here in AceZer0 to just make things go a little bit faster as well. We can always hope.
Let's see. I mean, so Buane going just for the standard stuff here. It looks like Ace tried to get the double spin there, but unfortunately kind of was not able to get it. But we get flippers there in AceZer0, so there's our first kind of interesting decision of the game.
Yeah, actually, good thing we actually got, good amount of cash, right? 300 rupees and, the map chest with the very first one. We also have some, 3 bombs from somewhere in the front of Escape, right? We got actually some really nice resources. Typically, when you see flippers early, you're like, oh man, do I have to worry about money? Do I got a hula hand? Maybe in this case, fingers crossed, we don't have to worry about money as much.
I mean, what this does open up is it opens up one of my favorite little early game kind of tricks, I guess. I don't know, shenanigans, something a little
I'm
different,
listening.
Right? Where especially with this, you grab your bonk rocks here, and then you go and you jump in that whirlpool just north of Kakariko. You go down to Ice Rod Cave.
Oh, dude. Days. Yeah, this is definitely going to add a little bit more variety to our route. Yeah, typically speaking, for casual boots, right, very standard trek is, do bonk rocks up to lumberjack, maybe, put that out, lost boots in Kakariko. But yeah, we can actually get some pretty good diversions.
I mean, I don't expect that to happen. because like in a seed like that, it is kind of almost a little dangerous to do something like that, because you're kind of asking yourself whether or not you're gonna just orphan something in Kakariko. And when you're playing against Buane or you're playing against Ace, there you kind of ask yourself, what's the best thing for me to be doing right now here?
Yeah, and actually, it's actually a good point. I mean, not only you're facing pretty formidable opponents, right? You just mentioned that, but also this is rando. The favorite player is not necessarily always going to be the one that wins, and this is also only a best of one series. Sometimes you just gotta maybe if you think you're the underdog, right? Maybe you think you need to take a risk.
Well, I mean, at this point, I think the seed is telling us, hey, maybe you should go to Eastern Palace, because you're just going to grab the bow and the lamp there immediately.
That looks like a pretty good decision. Yeah, we definitely don't have a map check yet, so we don't quite know if Eastern is a crystal. Any bets, Days, before we get that map check in a couple seconds?
Does that count as a sub 5? I think that was 459.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, really, Buane? Jeez. All right.
Okay. To answer your question, I'm gonna say it's a crystal, because if it's that nice to you that early, it's green pendant and something on Sasharala.
Yeah. Oh man, not even. Yeah. Jeez, not even like red crystal. We got a 5/6 crystal over at Eastern as well. I think I caught a regular. A green pendant at Deserts. And then a regular pendant at Hera. So very interesting.
Right. So we're missing one more pendant and one more red crystal to get all the information that we really need for this. As guys are gonna check bonk rocks, and is anyone gonna get a little bit funky with their routing today? Buane looks like he's gonna go pretty standard here.
Yeah, that looks likely too. Yeah, I mean, but definitely really nice job, Buane, on a very, very excellent escape time. Hopefully, should be pretty proud of that. But yeah, oh, by the way, shout-outs to our tracker today, the very awesome and lovely Lady Laura Linda. She's already gotten everything marked for us. Keep track of basically everything, for us. Thank you so much.
It is always nice when you don't have to even necessarily worry about your tracker at all. Like Lady Laura Linda at this point is experienced, and trust her completely.
100%. Oh man! All right. So speaking of, by the way, so I actually do see that Buane spotted a heart container in the mushroom spot at and Ace, right? They're
You don't need hearts.
They're just skipping it. I mean,
Hearts are overrated.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't need anything to survive, or
I mean, you have to get hit for it to be a problem, and these guys aren't going to get
Good point.
Oh, and as soon as I said that, Buane got hit.
I mean, it's not like the extra, heart container would have saved them, so,
Nah. I mean, with every other chest that you're going to be opening up in the game, when you see a heart container like that, and especially in a high pressure situation that you're currently in, you're just going to go, yeah, that's not worth getting. You're talking purely, is it progression? Yes, then I'll pick it up. Is it a nicety? Yes, then I'm not going to have it.
Yeah. That's actually a really good point too, right? Even though this is top 16, there are definitely a couple more rounds of the bracket to go for, the grand finals. But I mean, this isn't, a quote-unquote top 16 level, matchup, right? These guys are really good. And you definitely don't want to give up any extra unnecessary time, especially when you just, find a nice heart container in a backup blindside, right?
Yeah. Exactly. So you're at 4 hearts. You didn't have to waste time and go grab that one over at the mushroom spot. You can just open chests and get hearts here.
Yeah.
There's going to be heart pieces around for you.
Yeah, heart pieces.
Yeah. About it.
Right. All right. Yeah. Look at that. That's maybe Ace's. Not only, of course, I was gonna say that's Ace's map check, but Buane is saving those extra frames doing these chest turns. He just got to do like a couple thousand more extra in order to gain a second or something over Ace.
Yeah, I mean they look nice, and they look nice.
Yeah.
I think it's really what we're coming to there. Ooh, the nice spin speed off of the steps there in Hyrule to get down to the chicken hut just that little bit faster there. That was very nice there from Buane.
Yeah, more chest turns. Yeah, on that 20 rupees. And also speaking of, it looks like we actually do have a little bit of a negative investment coming from the bottle vendor. So we are actually just a little bit short of Zora money. But as you said, there are lots of chests, before we're just gonna basically, get heart containers, heart pieces, 20 rupees here and there. We're gonna farm up to our Zora money.
Yeah, since these guys are anti kind of meme routing or fun routing here, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna hit Mini Moldorm Cave before hitting the Zora. So I'd wager there's a pretty decent chance they're gonna run into the extra money that they might need here, as we see some more spin speed there from Buane.
Yeah, no, I mean this is a serious matchup, right? Again, it looks like he's not gonna take the time investment though to get the 20 rupees off of race game. 100% don't blame him. Again, yeah, we're gonna go visit Mini Moldorm Cave instead. Or maybe Eastern for that matter, right? If they're really hurting for cash, maybe they want to stop by the rupee room in the back. Looks like actually that is where Buane is going.
I mean, that is an option, yeah. The rupee room is there. You're gonna check Sasharala here on the way, see if this little guy has anything for you. So we're gonna get to see, does Buane go 3 for 3 on spin speed here, and that's 3 for 3.
Yeah, I mean Buane is he is a 123 runner for NMG, so I certainly would imagine that he's pretty good at spin speeds.
Yeah, I would feel like he's probably pretty consistent here. Let's see how Ace does. Ace gets it.
But yeah, Ace doesn't really give an inch. I mean, it's he's basically keeping right up there, with basically all both execution, right? It's been very very smooth so far.
Oh yeah. I mean, you expect nothing else here. When you asked me last night, hey, do you want to go do Ace and Buane in casual boots? It's like, yes. Yes, I do. they are quite good at this game.
Yeah.
Looks like Buane actually maybe failed a spin speed, and it looks like Ace might have had one too, sir. So these guys are human, it looks like.
Oh, amazing. I actually did think that both of them were robots. That's just how good they were. But it's good that they remind us that there is actually a human behind the controller.
Yes, yeah. That they have had to practice an obscene amount of time to get to the level that they currently are. As we pick up Tempered Sword out of our first chest here at Cannonball Room in Eastern Palace. So
yeah, this is. I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna complain. By the way, early Tempered Sword, especially for probably people like especially if you're an NG runner, this is already pretty dang comfortable equipment, right? Tempered Sword, basically what 11, 12 minutes in, all the bosses are gonna be nice and textbook, hopefully.
Wow, Tempered Sword, 6 hearts here. I feel like these guys are just gonna be like, this is the easiest Eastern Palace I've ever had.
and the lamp, right?
And the lamp, yeah. You don't even have to mess around with things this time. You can actually see where everything is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Now, granted, though, Buane being a very accomplished NMG runner, he may not have all the muscle memory, to do Eastern without the boots. But you know what? I'm gonna trust that he knows, like the dash lines and how to use those boots, in this dungeon.
I mean, that one Stalfos room, the top side of the room he's currently in there, he hit a line there that I didn't know existed up until right about now, and now I'm going, yep, I'm gonna be using that from now on.
It's also just actually really cool, right? Even regardless of how good you are, right? It's always when you watch like a rando race, you always learn something new. It's just like you can do that, It's actually I think that's actually just a testament to the community, right? So many people play it, and eventually physically, it's like, oh wow, I didn't know that strat existed. Really cool to see.
100%, yeah. I mean, that's kind of the advantage of, especially in these tournaments where you get to see the top runners match up against each other, really, and kind of go for their top strats, their best things, and you get to see things that you really wouldn't have seen otherwise, and you just go, wow, yeah, okay, so I got some things I need to practice. It looks like. As that is a big key, vanilla big key there. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna have to run back, check our big chest just to wait. Did we get the third item already?
I think so, because I think there was there was the Temper Sword in the front. There was 50 rupees, and there was I think maybe another 20 rupees somewhere. I'm not sure if the math was
10 arrows.
Maybe 10 arrows. Yeah. So maybe not quite, like the best Eastern Palace layout, but I mean, at least we saved the map and compass. We saved those for last. That's something.
It keeps the collection rate down a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing.
Oh man.
I go with problems there.
Yeah. I mean, the Popo, it's like maybe bodyguard MVP, right? Just basically taking that hit, from the arrow. But luckily we have Tempered Sword again. That's actually one of the benefits. You can basically just slash one of those guys. Don't have to always rely on that bow or an arrow in this case to kill the Igor.
Yeah, that's one of those problems there in that one room as Buane takes down those Armos Knights with zero problems, we'll say. But yeah, those popos there, especially if you're doing it in the dark and one of them decides to be a hero there, that can really wreck your day pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it only should be heroes for us. We're heroes of Hyrule, not heroes of Eastern Palace, or not heroes for Ganon.
Exactly. I mean, you know, there is such a thing as being too good at your job or too
Yeah. So that's a really good point.
All right, well, Ace takes down his Armos Knight's kill there, so we're tied at 1 crystal apiece. Buane has already saved equipment. He's making his way south down to the South Shore area here. Probably going to see some dam.
Yeah, it looks. He
All sorts
is.
of.
Yeah, he is 3 rupees shy of that, you know, great, you know, 500 mark. Ace is kind of already 0, but you know what? We got 50 rupees for the dam. What does it matter? I think maybe, you know, maybe ideally, we don't really have, actually, looking again at our tracker, even though, you know, you did mention we have 1 crystal apiece, basically under 15 minutes, but, Dazed, where is the stuff? You know, we got temper storage, which is great, but, you know, aren't we missing, like, pearl, you know, minutes? It's, you know, glove, any, you know, hammer. Where are these things?
I'm gonna wager that we're looking at an Agassiz right now. This feels Aga-ish to me right now. We've got everything that we need. Now the question is, where's the pearl? Well, I mean, those flippers did come early, so if you believe in early seeding meaning something there, that might mean, hey, our flippers are sitting over, our moon pearl is sitting up in the Zora area somewhere. But let's check Mini Moldorm Cave first, get a book out of it here, so I hope you didn't turn left out of here, eh? Okay, you did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's actually a good point. But I mean, did you also see? So Mini Moldorm, I guess, was like the Hyrule bank vault. I guess we have more. We have so much money, we don't even know what to do with it at this point.
Pretty sure we know what to do with it.
Okay. You know what? That is actually a fair point.
I think I know where we're going here.
Yeah, you know, it's a very fair point, man. You know, we were actually maybe even worried about, you know, some potential money issues, but yeah, we got Zora money, we got pawn money, we we maybe even have gamble game money if they're willing to go there.
We could buy some. We can splurge on the blue goo today.
Oh, you're right.
We don't have to go, you know, soft on anything. We can go hard tonight.
Dude, do you think we're gonna go? Do you think we can go buy a bee? Like
We
a
can
good bee?
We can buy a shield.
Let's go to the curiosity shop and go buy that fire shield. You know, I think it's gonna be well worth, you know, the 500 rupee investment.
Totally. I mean, it's not a complete waste of time by any means or anything. As we just as me and Clearmouse are just completely being dorks here. Buane did set up a nice water walk here. He's ran himself over the hobo. We're gonna find out. Do you have anything, good sir? Why did you have those?
That's actually a great question. You know, we probably shouldn't, you know, look into this too much further. Like, I feel like the more questions we ask Hobo, you know, the more uncomfortable we're gonna get. So,
Moving on then.
But you know, I actually, you know, as you mentioned though, until we kind of get something maybe more major, you know, of course, you know, there are Buane and Ace are doing the water checks. We got Waterfall Fairy, we got Zora Ledge, we got Sora. We do have Agina, we have some Tarzan Desert, but you know, there are a handful of checks to go in the Light World, and we don't have any of our Dark World assets.
But we do have a glove now.
We have a glove. Okay. That opens up a little bit of Death Mountain. We can go rescue the old man.
It also opens up your green pendant, though. That's the other thing.
Oh my gosh, Daze, you are 100% correct.
Let's just hope that that's not going to be something that we need to do, and it turns out that what you wanted to do today was put off the Eastern Palace area because that's a thing. Well, let's see. It looked like Zora Ledge didn't have anything of note, so
yeah, it was. I think I saw the sliver of some arrows. Looks like Zora also does not have anything helpful.
Well, the big fish himself, yeah, it was pretty empty there. That's just a piece of heart that at this point these guys are. I don't think they're too worried about Ace deciding to actually pick up the blue mail there.
Yeah.
Help.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting point too. Because I mean, so Blaine, as you noted, actually, did in this case skip out on the blue mail. I'm not sure if Blaine, maybe he doesn't think like the extra whatever number of seconds was worth it. May actually cut down on some lag, honestly, on Ace's side later on. We haven't seen Dark World prizes yet, but I mean, given that we do have 2 pendants in the light world already, chances are we're gonna have to go see that screen again. Oh,
Wow, and it
hey.
looks like we have found our moon pearl now. It's sitting on desert ledge. So here comes awkward decision number 1 here. Are you gonna go ahead and complete Desert Palace for fun here, or if you find 2 items? Yeah, if you find 2 items up front, are you gonna go ahead and get the green pendant, or
Yeah,
are you
that's.
gonna say this is an Agus?
Man, actually, well, we're gonna potentially find out, because it looks like Ace is actually a very slight divergence. He is going to go up the mountain first, so we're gonna be able to get some eyes on both sides, both tines of the fork, I guess.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so
Um,
we are boots locked out of desert, which is absolutely not an important thing in this type of game,
that's true.
but it's fun to talk.
Yeah. But I mean, but also again, I think to your point, right? The fact that we have the big key early, so again, maybe another awkward decision here in desert. You're gonna go get the ledge, for sure. I mean, are you just gonna go be Lamos? Or are you gonna go to the right side?
I have so many questions. I don't know if there's a good answer to them here. So we're gonna see Buane go to the right. I think you have to do kind of what Buane's doing here, and then see exactly what's left here. Because I mean, in a best of 1, you'd kind of hate to do an unnecessary aga. But at the
That.
same time, it's an
Oh,
unnecessary aga. Well, that's a miss. We still
wow!
don't have a
No.
pearl yet.
Yeah. Oh, all right then. Okay, so as you actually just said, right? We found both items here in the front/right side of desert, which one of them is pretty dang important because that is our Dark World access. So I guess Green Panda Lamo that the fun is going to be put off very slightly.
I suppose, yeah, because I mean, at this point, when you can just run outside here, grab this moon pearl, and then head into the dark world, you're not likely to turn around and go do aga here. Now, going and getting Agina here, yeah, this makes complete sense because
Oh, right.
Tucker.
I forgot about Agina. I was so excited to see those mitts. I'm sorry, and also of course the bug net. Can't forget the bug net. Very useful and swordless. Not this particular bug, but yes, also very important.
To see how important the bug net here is in League eventually, pretty
Yeah,
quickly. I didn't see anything like
that
that.
is true. By the way, good thing Blaine didn't skip Agina, and he remembered because that was also the hook shot, by the way.
That was the hook
uh,
shot.
yeah. So that's a really important area. Hmm.
Yeah, I would say so. Now, Blaine, I think this is going to be. Wow,
That was so fast, dude. Like that.
How did he move the?
I don't know. I don't. This is why
Wow.
we need controller cams, or something. Like you literally just see the dark blink sprite go, and it's something. It's like you literally blink and you miss it, or you don't know how it's done.
Now, see, things like this remind me of my career. Why my career record against Blaine is something like 0-5.
It is very, very difficult, I would say, to get a win off Buane.
Well, I mean,
That is.
Ace is giving it a decent shot here, and it
Oh
looks
heck
like
yeah, for sure.
we're gonna make a play here. We are gonna go kill
Mm.
our green pendant landmo. So, if this turns out to be something, this is gonna be a big deal for Ace for sure.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely true. And I'm actually, as you said, so I think it actually could be a fun time, just because I do again on a tracker I see bow, I do also of course see tempered sword, but maybe we'll get treated to a little NMG landmo. I can always hear and see Ace doing a little bit of a sword spins to help him out with damage as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see for sure. Hopefully, we'll check it out real quick here. What exactly how Ace wants to handle this there with that tempered sword. I don't know if we're gonna see bow, but we're gonna see something for sure.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna see something. That's right. No, okay, so let's see. So Buane is actually gonna save a little, just a little bit of time over Ace. In that, he ended up making the correct decision for the seed so far. Thank you, Ace. Oh man, we're using some bow strats here. I was gonna say though, only saving maybe Buane one trip up the mountain.
He probably knows that it is your birthday after all, and it's time to give you what you want.
Certainly, I mean, I think starting out with the bow is actually very, pragmatic, just because there's like a nice setup you can do, but kind of everything else after that, you just basically, slash and spin.
Definitely. Like, yeah, take care of it as quickly as you can. It doesn't really matter how you do it as long as you do it fast.
Yeah.
So, what else do we have up here?
So I know that we found a shovel. Again, thank you, Lady Laura Linda. She's awesome at this, and we also found a. Oh my. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
All right, so we need to start playing the everybody's favorite game of what exactly do we need at Go mode here at about the 25-minute mark.
Yes. But normally I don't think we played this game so early, but given that they found so much stuff already, I think it's very reasonable.
Well, we're gonna need Buane to get into Dark World first here, but yeah, that'll be just a second. First, we got to go around a really small.
This is what curly cave fries, cinnamon roll, something cave.
We've been trying to come up with good names for it for forever here, and it's just kind of what it is there. So. Now I kind of see what Ace did here. Ace rushed the back there, hoping that Landlow had his last item, so he had to come back through Desert Palace there to pick up his two items. There, got his mitts. He's about to get his hook shot, and then he'll, since he's already been up the mountain, he can just save and quit and come directly back up here if he so chooses.
Yeah, that's also a fair point. Ooh, all right, we have our Dark World check. It was pretty fast, but I did spy that Turtle Rock as our last pendant. Swamp was our 5/6, is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, we had a 5/6 swamp, and we theoretically do not need an ice rod today.
Oh my gosh, hallelujah! Maybe we're gonna be able to get that sub-hour seed after all.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're moving pretty fast, but I mean, we're gonna have to find everything else that we need here really quickly for that, as we get a green 20 rupees. So everybody say hello to Boots again.
Yes, hello Boots. Thank you for letting us start with Boots, because if we had to wait this long, I would have been pretty sad.
Yeah. That would be there. As we get down here, we see a Bombos medallion entry for Turtle Rock, but I don't necessarily hope that we find Bombos today.
Yeah. All right. I mean, Bombos is one of those, do I want to see this medallion or not? Because I mean, it could also be our entry into Ice Palace. Because especially for Buane, the fire rod seems to be. You know what? Never mind. Let's just forget about the Bombos medallion. We hope that we never see it.
Fire rod was right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see it? It was right there.
Sometimes when Buane finds the fire rod, I'm just like, is this real? Like, because he's notorious for leaving it behind. But maybe the seed is smiling on him today.
I mean, I don't think he needs a lot of help from the seed.
Okay, you know what? That's also a very good point.
But yeah, he's coming through here, not really having too much problem right now. So I guess we're gonna take this fire rod. Gonna take our what is he at here? Eight full hearts already. Oh my God, Seed, you're being generous. We're gonna go kill a boss, I think.
Yeah. Maybe on a touch on the lower health end, from an M&G perspective. But honestly, if you've ever actually watched Buane kill Mothula, I've seen 0 spikes moved on that boss fight, from him. So I don't really think it's gonna be too much of an issue, given that he does have temp. Oh yeah, he also kills Samaria too. Jeez.
I was going to ask you exactly that question. What do you think? Over under 1 spike, 1.5 spikes moved.
Yeah, 1.5. Oh, that's I'll wager under. But sometimes Moth doesn't always. But I have faith in Buane.
Now, so right now we're kind of talking about Buane because he is kind of leading the seed, but I mean it is important to remember that Ace does have that green pendant sitting in his pocket here. Now, if he gets a chance and it turns out that that green pendant is something like the flute or a big thing, this will change the seed's complexion very quickly.
Oh yeah, that's definitely very true. And it's and honestly, like just because the point is just a little bit faster, sorry, a little bit further ahead in terms of progression into Skullwoods. It's not like Ace is like miles behind and there's like no hope for him, right? Like it is so early. There is like tons of game left, and it's never, been the case, of course, where, someone takes an early lead and, it's never been like an upset or anything.
Never happened ever.
Mm-hmm.
This game is not random at all here.
Yeah, of course
Oh
not.
wow, Buane three spikes
Three,
this.
man. Yeah, he did I think he got like a nice double poke at the very beginning, but the moth just didn't want to cooperate. So, oh well. But
Does
no,
happen.
but still a really nice fight on him.
Yep. That's a crystal number 2 here. So we're averaging about crystal every 15 minutes right now, which
That's pretty fast, Ace. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, 7 crystals. It should be done around an hour 45 minutes. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, maybe. Initially, we're trying to, maybe they're trying to front load the seed, right? So we could see that maybe they're going to take a little bit less time as a crystal progress. All right.
I do like what Ace did there, kind of going ahead and checking that shovel there. I mean, in his mind, he's going to be thinking, all right, Buane might not have done the back of desert, so I did. I'm probably chasing at the moment, so let me do maybe one of the, like at this point, I might need something to break my way. So, because I mean, if it's a pure jet seed, you're gonna feel like you've got to give the advantage to Buane. I mean, it's like you said, the 123 NMG time there. You don't want to be chasing that.
No, that's definitely very true. And it also is kind of actually efficient on Ace's side too, right? Like instead of coming from Kakariko from the north, I guess from Saint, why not come from the south in order to check that shovel too? But
Yeah.
certainly, I think is a good observation, that Ace is maybe taking a little bit more time to, in this case, maybe make a couple plays here and there that either are considered, not on the straight and narrow path, of rushing dungeons, but maybe just like, slightly out of the way once.
I mean, they're not bad decisions, especially.
Oh no, for sure.
Well, yeah, especially with how you mentioned, like he routed the shovel spot in with the full curve around instead of starting at Sank there. It's not like you have a flute or anything, you get the Sank immediately.
Right,
Like,
right.
He made a decision there to follow what he found out of Paradox Cave. He followed that shovel to hopefully get himself a little bit of an advantage there. Now, unfortunately, it was 20 rupees, but I mean, it was a, a lot of times in this game, you can't necessarily judge the results. You have to kind of more judge just the concept. I guess.
Yeah, like expected value, right, type of thing.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So this is making his way back to Mothula as well. Maybe didn't have quite the best cooperation from the Gyptos though in the mummy room, but he is well on his way to kill Mothula and his second crystal. Looks like Buane though is maybe delaying a little bit about East Town, checking the surrounding areas for that hammer and another chest turn.
Yep.
Oh, Moth, dude, Ace.
What a jerk. Yes,
He
what
is.
a jerk.
He is.
Yeah,
We
just up in that corner there.
Yeah. We should ask the devs to hotfix the bug net doing damage to Moth. It should be like, platinum store damage or something like that. I think that'll teach him a lesson.
Yeah, just one shot Moth. You walk in, just be like, okay, come on, let's just make it easier.
Exactly.
So 2 items in the front of Thieves Town, and one of them was a Bombos medallion.
But I thought we said we didn't want to see that medallion.
I believe we don't have power over this game,
Oh,
unfortunately.
well.
We tried.
Can I talk to the Seeds manager?
Aging Sinai.
Yeah.
Sweet tea. All possible here. All right. So what's Buane's choice here? It looks like we're gonna make the gamble here. I don't blame him here in a 1v1 like this. You know, you kind of have to roll with it after a point. See if it turns out that there is a item in the big chest, then you just hope it's not anything serious.
Mhm. So
It
yeah,
is what it is here.
So I guess like, do you think he also might be, I don't know, influenced? So like right now, they do have a lot of good stuff, but they don't really have like, as we're kind of also seeing Ace and Blaine earlier they have to walk out of Skull Woods, right? They don't have a mirror to get out. Not that Blaine would have necessarily a hard time, I guess, death warping, but it does take up some time. I don't know if that's also part of the influence.
You know that would be a good question to ask. Because I mean I don't know. With Wayne being on green mail, yeah, death warp would be 5-10 seconds. You know, like, it wouldn't be much. But at the same time here, getting that small key does theoretically mean that the hammer could just be back here, which is one of the nastiest placements in the game for it. So
That is definitely true.
you
We did
know,
find the map. Yeah, we did find the map in the attic room. By the way, talking about death warping, Blaine is, by the way, thank you so much to whoever did our setup. I think it was Sigma, for choosing Ace's audio because, Blaine, if you've ever listened to his stream, he has double heartbeats going on right now, and I'm very glad that we don't have to listen to that.
that's why you listen to Blaine with the sound off.
Exactly. Yeah, but at least for his sake, let's hope that he doesn't actually, premature death warp.
Oh man, not killing that red Zizak down there with green mail always what makes me nervous here. And it looks like, yeah, we're gonna leave an item.
Yeah,
That
that's
was a
right.
map upstairs and a compass in Blind's cell. So there's an item in the big chest. So we're just gonna stick a little pin in that and see if that's something we need to think about later.
Yeah, I mean, and so I think this actually might be kind of like two things, I guess, maybe for Blaine to kind of have, gaps, as opposed to maybe, assuming Ace goes in, it'll just be his one, right? So at least, for the Thieves on Big Chest, if both Ace and Blaine leave it, not probably a big deal, but again, as part of the seed, right? I think Ace is actually playing with a much better peace of mind, right? He hasn't really left anything, behind, but Blaine, might have that, like, do I ever go back to Landmost for that green pendant, that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing there. I mean, with the way that he's routing here, he's routing with the possibility of leaving himself some nasty decisions. Ace is being more thorough, which comes with its own problems here. Because if you're being more thorough and it turns out that all you needed to do was go really fast and skip things, well, congratulations, you just got knocked out of the tournament then. But yeah, so I mean, man, it is kind of fun to see a little bit of the contrast in styles there because it builds some excitement for sure, and that's a one big heart container.
Yeah, but so people, I think talk about optimizing digging, right? Because you can dig, as Wayne just demonstrated, right underneath the guy, right? But kind of as a consequence, like you can't avoid the item if it is actually first dig. So I mean, I guess it was a heart container. Wayne's probably not gonna turn it down, but I mean, like, that's just one of those things.
I mean, that's fantastic, honestly. You mean you always hope for the one dig thing here. And all right, so it looks like Wayne is gonna take our little froggy friend here as we get a very, very nice sub-pixel dash, pixel perfect dash there in the Hellway from Ace there, showing that we might have been talking about Wayne's talent, but Ace is extremely good at this game as well.
Yeah, and in fact, right, I think maybe part of the difference, right, is that Ace actually does play this game actually quite a bit. He probably is taking a little bit more time with like Super Metroid and Super Metroid Zelda variations. But as demonstrated so far, like his execution, like you cannot sleep on him.
I know when I had AceZer0 in my main tournament bracket. I was just I remember when I saw his name pop up in my group. I might have said some words that I can't say on stream right now.
He is he may not necessarily have like the absolute like star name power maybe, but I mean like he is a really scary opponent. Like you don't
Oh
want
yeah, definitely. I mean, like that's the thing. Like if you know the game, you know that you can't exactly that you have to watch out for him. Like, he can, I've seen him take out very good people and make it look pretty easy.
Yeah.
Like you don't sleep on him, and it looks like we're feeding. We're gonna feed the frog.
Everybody wave goodbye. You know, Jeremiah is just going upstate to a frog farm, a toad farm. You know, and you know we're gonna apparently get a little monkey replacement for him. You saw nothing.
Nothing happened. Don't ask.
Wow. By the way, that was actually a really nice sneaky dash.
That was a very nice sneaky dash.
Yeah. That's also speaking of good execution, you know, following the blind script very well on Ace's side. You know, blind ended on the nice upper left-hand corner. That's also crystal number 2 for Ace. Three. I can count, I swear.
Well, yeah, and to be completely honest here, I think I very much agree with what Buane's doing here. This is the nasty part of the seed. This is the one. Everybody's favorite part about having a MITS entrance into the dark world here is you've got to try to figure out exactly what it is, where that hammer.
Right. So when you said favorite part, do we have the same definition of favorite, Dave? Out of curiosity.
That's favorite with a healthy amount of sarcasm. Because I mean, this is one of those where you know you look at it, you've got the flippers, and you're like, okay, what are we talking? Are we talking Ice Palace here? Are we talking Pod?
Yeah,
we talking Skip Chain? What are we talking here?
Yeah, actually, you know, that's also a really great question. I mean, I don't know if, you know, Jeremiah was, you know, the frog was, you know, I guess an influence for Buane. I mean, but like, I guess what's worse? You know, as we're watching Buane death warp from Bari's on the Bollock side of Pod because again, no hammer. Sorry, one of the other favorite parts of, you know, MIT's entry into Dark Worlds. What's worse, hammerless Pod or hammerless?
I mean, if we want to get really silly here, we can have the seed just go completely sideways on them. Give them like a mirror and say, all right, boys, go get your hammer. First step to swamp. One.
Oh no. That is, you know, so this is the fun. This is the actual fun part. Is that we get to speculate, you know, these terrible scenarios, and we don't have to experience any of the consequences.
Oh yeah, totally. This is why I do this part of it because I mean I've played enough bad seeds to know that you know the game can just be a jerk, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it when you're playing, especially when you're running in a tournament because then it's just like as stressful as it could possibly be, and it looks like ooh, AceZer0 taking a little bit of a cross keys-ish route here. We're gonna go visit Catfish first.
Yeah, I like this. You know, I like actually the you know the creativity of this. Always gonna good to add in like a little bit of extra spice. And again, you know, Catfish. I think you know just kind of maybe not quite the same I would say level. You know, as like Shovel Shack, but I mean you know again out of the way location. Certainly could pay off quite well if something is here.
Especially if it turns out to I mean, this is another one of those things that if it turns out to have something, I mean, Buane has a choice of running back from out of the pod maze to go check Catfish and stuff, and then finding say a hammer, or like having to go back through the portal. Oh my god, it is the hammer.
It is the hammer! Holy cow! That is huge for Ace. Again, remember when I think we said what a couple minutes ago to never sleep on Ace. He has just made a very very strong play because now he's gonna be able to go into pod along with every other location in Dark World. He's for sure gonna full clear this, and then what is Buane gonna do after this?
Well, that's the question. Yeah, Buane's either gotta like save. He's either gonna save and quit, and then have to run all the way over there to Catfish to get it, or he's gonna have to run all the way out of the pod maze to go get it there, as he's currently like going backwards through the pod maze right now. Is he lost? Oh, he's death warping. He's killed too many of the dongos. See that? Yeah, that's something you have to think about there. As when Ace comes through here, he's gonna be able to just one shot the entire dungeon. So that is a massive turn for this. And Buane's gonna hit like in about 10 seconds, in about a minute here once he gets up to Catfish.
Yeah, but I mean, like the fact that you mentioned though, like the fact that Ace is still gonna get this one shot, right? Even with no like flute, no real like good mobility, getting back to pod is not. I mean, it's for sure for Buane it's gonna be like a double dip, right? And there's gonna be a great time, given to Ace actually over Buane, for this. Because he found a hammer before going into pod.
Yeah, this is gonna be no small thing here for Buane. I can't say enough nice things about Ace's route there. Coming down that way, especially when you know that you're gonna go to pod last there. Coming through that way, going through the portal, going to Catfish. I mean, the downside to that route is you go there, and it turns out that Catfish has nothing, and Hammer is in pod, and then you feel bad, right? But if you do hit it there, and especially in a situation where, kind of like I mentioned, he probably felt behind up until that point. I mean, that was a great plan. I wonder if there's any metagaming involved or anything. I mean, I have so many questions right now that I want to ask him as he just shoots over the ear of that minute.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's also, these are all actually, like, really, really great questions. So I guess, like, with that hammer, I guess, do you think Buane's gonna run right back to pod?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's not necessarily a good way to handle that. I mean,
I mean, and again, right? Like, there's no really great, mobility in terms of like, the flute, because with the flute, less, or even even like the mirror, that matter, right? Just to 5, go back straight in, you're good. But then, actually looking at all this overworld travel you're gonna get, right? Like, this is definitely, like time that Buane is spending that Ace does not have to.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, the kind of the crazy thing about this is that we're talking about how that hammer is in a terrible place for Buane, and it was. Thing is, he's gonna be finishing Helmasaur at almost the same time.
Oh, yeah, actually, this is actually a good point, because Buane's almost kind of like two pod itself. He's gonna just go straight to the back. Ace, I think, has the Dark Maze left to go, and then so yeah, actually might be that much of a difference.
This is wild here. You might actually finish it before him, it looks like. Which, I mean,
but I mean, in terms of checks, though, you mean it's kind of maybe like a difference, right? Ace still has that green pendant, I think, over Buane, right? And it's definitely it's definitely gonna take more time to go get that green pendant off of Lambos. Basically, I'm saying like the difference right here between where Ace is and Buane.
Yeah. I mean, there was an argument to be made for if Ace really wanted to, he could have gone to he could have saved and quit out of Catfish, and then ran over, checked green pendant, and gone to the portal out on 5. But that would have been overdoing it, I think, quite honestly.
Yeah, yeah, right, and especially, and again, you mentioned this, right? Like, the fact that he found that hammer, right, probably was like, that was a very, like, "This is a good play, like, I found something good, let's just actually just go after that," as opposed to maybe pressing his luck more.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And so, I mean, yeah, he's I mean, still sitting here. I mean, Blaine's gonna be a little bit ahead with after this dungeon here, but it is it is definitely narrowed.
Yeah. And, the fact that, Boeing basically, still took his, path into pod first, before visiting Pyramid Catfish, I think is also kind of a, again, showcasing different styles, right? Ace seems to be, a little bit more thorough, doing some more out of the way locations, on his way into dungeons that he may not be able to complete, the first time, but, Boeing really does seem to be kind of rushing these dungeons, right? Kind of like going straight in. And, again, right, if how many times have we seen the hammer and pot, right? Like a million different times before this, so it's certainly very reasonable,
Oh
especially
yeah, I
given
mean,
how much they've already taxed.
yeah, and especially in a seed kind of like this where where you've got those mids to enter the dark world with, you're probably going to go to pod first. I mean, that's just, you're going to go to the density. That's really what you are going to typically do. And it just turned out that for Blaine this time, yeah, it didn't work out the way that he wanted. Now his execution has made it so that he can still catch up, no problem. It looks like we're going to be seeing an Ice Palace play here in a minute because we've already got the fire rod out. All right, coming down here as Ace is already smacking on Helmasaur's big purple mask there. He's going to be able to pop that thing open in just a second.
Yeah, it looks like he was kind of holding his sword out, while with the hammer, trying to maybe, offset the hammer hitbox a little bit more, just so it's not super wonky. But yeah, Ace picks him down, gets his next crystal, kind of as Blaine is already, trekking over to Ice Palace. Again, no flute, just means that we're gonna be trying to make the best of what we can on the overworld.
Yeah, that is kind of the thing right now. We don't have a flute, don't have a mirror. We're just kind of sitting here waiting for the game to give us a little bit more mobility. Luckily, we started with the boots, so
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, just to kind of imagine, I guess, like walking everywhere on the overworld. Oh man, that's. I think this is casual boots. That's a good point.
thankfully here it's Ace is gonna make this trick over into Kingston
Yeah,
here, which
nice
I don't
entry
believe
as
had.
well. Boyne also did find silver, so Ganon looks like actually today is gonna be pretty nice and comfy. We got tempered silvers, may even find gold sword, I guess, maybe while we're at it. Silvers are also, especially assuming Ace is gonna go into Ice Palace via this portal again. This really nice overworld travel.
Yeah, I mean, using these portals to get around there can really help you out with getting through things. And right now, with that's 2 items already out of what's this place called? There you go. It's Ice Palace.
The Ice Palace, the frozen place.
Yeah, the frozen realm. Sure, whatever. But so if we don't end up finding progression in here, then Wayne's gonna have to start thinking about some of those one-offs that Ace has already done. We got our first bottle.
Yeah, amazingly, actually, right? We're at 52 minutes, and this is our first bottle. I mean, that could be progression.
That could be progression, yeah.
But again, as you just mentioned, no flute means that we can't really just like let's just hop on over real quick to go check here, because not a really fast way in order to get over the sank.
Right, that's that's not the ideal situation there with Ace. it's like, hey, congratulations, now you've got another one-off sitting by itself. I mean, I guess if you go back that way, you just commit to doing Smith Chain. Maybe you,
Oh
if you're
man.
Buane, you're gonna route south with the shovel, come up through
Oh, right.
Kakariko.
That's a great reminder. That's right. Buane is also, yeah, again, that hasn't checked the shovel. You know, Ace, again, you know, this also could be one of those things where, you know, maybe Ace initially, right, took a little bit of extra time investment to try and, you know, be a little bit more inclusive, right, you know, in his routing. But again, like Buane, you know, maybe has to maybe take a little bit of time later on the seed in order to make those checks work.
Yeah, I mean, when you play, when you're playing kind of the Aces, the way Ace is playing right now, that's kind of what you're gambling. You're gambling that the seed is not going to be just, you know, a straight line to the end here. Like, if you're gambling that the seed gives you a little bit of curves left and right, because if it does, then hey, fantastic, you're doing great here, and everything's happening. But yeah, well, I guess we're gonna have to see here. Is he's gonna have to hit a bomb? No, oh no, that's right. He's not gonna hit a bomb jump. He didn't do the switch, so he's gonna end up checking the big chest here, unfortunately.
All right, though. Looks like though, Buane, as you maybe predicted, Buane's going to try and route in the shovel into Sickid, maybe yeah, into Smith Chain, because no mirror, no flute. Turns out these are actually both items we hard required to finish the season. So we kind of need something to show up here.
He was a little nervous there for Ace there. That it turns out he had hit the switch, and I was a little nervous that maybe he was going to skip this bottle just purely because we are running low on.
Yeah. So that's
So
actually a very good point. Yeah. Like, what else do we have left open right now? That's available to us.
Smith Chain,
Oh,
and
right.
that's about it, really. Yeah.
It was so unappealing that I blocked it out. Oh man. Talk about potential Smith chains here.
And yeah, chat bringing up something that we forgot about because we didn't want to acknowledge as an option. We do have our access into TR right now.
Oh, right. And we have the fire rod. You know, super.
Nothing has ever been on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, of course. Nothing.
Ever been on
Yeah.
Laser Bridge.
I mean, oh man, can you imagine? Maybe we find the mirror in Laser Bridge and we go back to Mimic Cave.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Something pretty terrible. And I guess, you know, for what it's worth, also, we do have that potential green pendant turn in on Ace's side. So
kind of wondering when is Ace gonna find a good time to go over there and check it? That's the thing. It's now isolated by itself. You don't have a mirror, so you can't just mirror out here and run out real quick from where he is. So I don't know. I mean, at some point, I feel like maybe if you're Ace, you just do that immediately after this, and you go, well, I have this thing. Is this a good thing? But no, it looks like we're gonna go Smith Chain as well here for him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and maybe, you know, Ace was just thinking like, well, you know, I'm gonna have to find the food eventually, right? So maybe I'll just wait, you know, for it, you know, after we get the food. But I mean, right now, again, you know, we're kind of running low on checks here in order to actually find what that food is.
Yep. We're gonna take a quick dash down to get our bombs off of Sick Kid, which also leads to our large questions about why do so many of these NPCs just
that is actually very correct.
But we're gonna move on from that. Move on from that silly discussion to Smith Chain having nothing, and
yeah.
I don't like purple chest. Purple chest is silly.
Yeah, this is actually, and again, so this is again, very interesting set of decisions that people are now kind of faced with, right? Is this is, it turns out, not only, of course, is the path a little bit curvy, there actually might be quite a bit of different twists, I guess, for this game. Lots of different decisions, and Blaine, in this case, has made the decision that I am going to spend my time invested in Turtle Rock.
Again, you chase density most of the time, right? I mean, it can be rando can rando and just say, hey, yeah, it's not actually density. It was here in a Tower of Hera the entire time. I mean, we find
That
ourselves
also
an
could be
ice
as well.
rod. We can start talking about that 3-letter word that makes chat go crazy. But we've got a few more places yet to find before we start thinking about that. Or we can just guess right immediately because we're very good at this.
Wayne, that is a pretty awful location, by the way, for that mirror. Anytime when the mirror is in the Tower of Hera area, it is just like if you were playing Burden, you have to take the absolute long path over there, right? There's no shortcut. So you can't use the mirror to get up to Hera. So you definitely want to make those kind of trips once.
I'm actually stunned that the book's worth something today.
That's also
I mean, the book has been worth a lot today.
Yeah, that's also actually a very good point. Yeah, right. Because Desert had our myths, right? Had the Pearl on Ledge. Of course, Gina also had the hook shot, which kind of the book kind of pushed you over there. But yeah, also now the tablets has her mirror.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of wild here. So Buane's gonna just take a couple of seconds just to see if he can't fit. Oh,
no! Oh no!
That's an interesting bump.
Yeah. At least it was fortunate for him to not have to, drop two floors. Just in this case, a 1-floor drop. But still, not probably something that, and not a time loss that you kind of want to take.
Right.
Oh man, Buane almost left. Oh,
That's the second item in here. Because there's 20 rupees in the basement, so
very, very interesting in this case.
Yeah, you have a fully open swamp right now. And you're theoretically one item away. I mean, we don't know what Meyer Medallion is. If it's Ether, then haha, funny times. Yep, we get our red pendant there. I was kind of wondering, maybe did Buane think that this was the green pendant?
Okay. Yeah, that could be. We do of course see that very big capital P in the upper left-hand corner. I know that some people don't look at it still, but it is there as a reminder.
Well, look like Ace is not going to get the purple chest bailout there as just a piece of heart, which proves that doing Smith Chain is always the worst decision.
always the wrong decision.
Always
very fair. Very, very fair. Alright, looks like though Ace is at least heading towards the right path, and of course without the mirror, right, certainly very reasonable for him to go over to the Hera area before he kind of dives into Turtle Rock.
I don't blame him here at all. Like I was, you've got to clear out a couple of things there. I mean, if you're coming this way, you're thinking to yourself, well, the mountain's got 2 of my pendant dungeons. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in one of these. All right, let me go. Well, I guess I'll check Ether Tablet because I'm here anyway. But
yeah, I mean, as you said, right, the book is paid off apparently for like every single possible location so far. I guess that value is TBD, but that glove is led to what, like 4 trackable items, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, at this point, I'm just kind of sitting here going, I don't know what we should do about that mushroom. Probably ignore it, I think, is the right play.
Yeah, so far. Yeah, and again, right, even though there are, shorter cuts, I guess, to take, going to the potion shop and back, but no flute means, it's going to be just slightly more delayed, right? You can't just do a quick over to flute 2 and then turn it in immediately.
Yeah, I mean, but the good news here is that if you clear swamp, you find nothing, you can just jump in the whirlpool right north of here and get in. So I mean, in that way, it'll be relatively quick, I guess. But here is Ace. There you go. He's finally got the lineup there for the spin speed Herapod.
So I guess like from Ace's perspective, like, do you think he'll finish the dungeon? You know, since he already has Green Pendant and he's here.
I mean, the argument towards finishing the dungeon is coming back here sucks. And if it turns out to be a ped seed, you've already got one. So, I mean, it could help. Ooh, nice save there from Ace there. It looked like he had lined off just a little bit. So was able to keep himself from having to walk back up the stairs there and feel bad about yourself.
Alright, Ace is gonna hopefully take a nice, quick, easy fight with Moldorm, not get knocked off. Well done. He'll earn his map or something, and then also his pendant. Oh, his small key. Gotcha.
Small key is something he doesn't care about.
Exactly. Now, also of note, potentially, maybe, you know, another potential question, you know, so certainly being potentially one item for go mode, right? One item for sure, maybe two, depending on what the medallion is. You know, maybe Buane won't do left side, maybe he will do left side. But then also, you know, the swamp is also a 5/6 crystal, so we can also potentially see Pyramid Fairy after this.
You are correct. You are correct. That is an option open to our runners here. So man, yeah. Let's see here. I mean, we're not gonna go left side on Buane's screen quite yet because that's kind of silly a thing to do because he's not found a single dungeon item yet, and still has not found a single dungeon item.
Yeah. Is this the dream potentially? You know, we basically just don't have to worry about left side at all. Oh no.
We noticed it, so therefore it changed it.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
us. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair play. Fair play.
Yeah, it's like Schrodinger seed in this case. Schrodinger Swamp Palace.
Surprisingly, no sword.
Also, good points. You know, that map could have been the sword, right? And then we just had to go open it, and then, you know, unfortunately, that's
what it is. It has made itself known, and therefore now there is no doubt about it. So here, do we get the 0 cycle here? Nope, not quite. But pretty good setup there for Buane as he's gonna, you know, only gonna have the single jump here. Looks like from Argus, as he's a little bit of indecision there about how he wanted to kill Argus, and now Argus has caused a problem.
This is Argus's archery game.
I would really suggest just using your sword there, bud.
Oh my gosh. So, at NMG, Buane is definitely a 2-spin main. You know, for second phase of Argus, he is very, I would say, insistent about doing 2 spins. I believe that particular strat would have saved some time. Maybe just go back to his NMG roots.
That is a quicker way to have done that there. Yeah. But you know, we can tease him because
for sure. Buane is so good at this game. Yeah. It's very uncharacteristic of him.
To be completely honest, if he heard us congratulating him on that fight, he'd be like, "What the heck are you talking about?"
Yeah. All right. Well, so I think there was something, I guess, on Argus. I think maybe there was one item left in the swamp, maybe.
Apparently it's worth skipping because we are off to.
I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, we're off to the pyramid here. I don't blame this at all. Actually, you know, we were talking briefly about like when is the best time for Ace to go check that green pendant that he's got in the side. There, and thank you to Lady Laura Linda there, our amazing tracker there, confirming one item left in Swamp. Yeah, I mean, this would probably be Ace's best chance after finishing Swamp to just kind of go on up there.
Oh, yeah, that's also a good point, yeah.
And we do have that mushroom as well.
Oh, we have so many things to do. Buane cannot avoid an armor upgrade. Decides to also pick. Well, yes, he was forced to take it at Pyramid Fairy, but no progression. So we are still looking for that flute. I think also, probably for both Ace and Buane's perspectives, they would really like to see that Ether Medallion show up somewhere, because then they don't have to worry at all when they eventually find the flute. And then they basically just yeah. Then it's an absolute like I don't have to do it.
Yeah, very likely. So, all right, mushroom to the witch. Gonna dash off the screen here. Not gonna do any portal shenanigans. And our book is gonna go. Okay, not perfect
Yeah.
on book's trackable items thing here today, but that's pretty dang good.
Yeah, that book was definitely very, very important. I mean, it's worth its weight item position in money, I guess, right? I think we found a mini Molder, I think, right? And along with like 200-300 rupee hoards. So quite the treasure trove in this case.
Definitely. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff.
Ace having a very nice Argus fight, showing us how the power of the silver arrows. You only need one in order to land on Argus in order to kill him on the second phase.
The operative word there is you need one to land. But yeah, so we got Buane we're gonna see this Turtle Rock play after all, it looks like, and so interesting times are afoot here because I mean, outside of this, Ace has done purple chest and yeah, purple chest, and he's got that green pendant over Buane. Other than that, it's we're basically on equal footing. And that's right. A lot of our mirror lock locations we have not checked. There's been no graveyard ledge. There's been no cave 45. That is a good point. We did just
yeah. Actually, this is actually a very good point, and Ace is going to make this K45 check that Buane actually did not make. Buane did not go over here before Swamp Palace, did not go over here after Swamp Palace.
I mean, at this point, if it shows up here in one of these next few locations, Buane spending all of its time in Turtle Rock is going to be a big issue.
Yeah, and of course, yeah, and there's always that wild card, a medallion that we don't know what the entry is into Mire. There of course odds are good in this case that we do have it, but still, that is another point of contention.
I mean, if I'm being completely honest here, I would rather be doing the checks that Buane's doing at the moment, but ooh, I like this play. Oh, but there's
my gosh, but there's the flute and Buane. Wait, so Buane is taking his opportunity and cutting his route off of Turtle Rock, activate his flute, and then hopefully he's gonna have the requisite medallion in his inventory.
Yeah,
yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense here. I mean, if you're gonna do it, you got to go that way. Now, if this Magic Bat wants to drop Ether Medallion, things get really spicy really quickly.
Yeah,
no.
It was so close to actually being our potential, progression. Although we don't know where that powder is, but if Ace happened to skip that bottle, from Ice Palace, that could have been something very interesting.
Yeah. Well, looks like we are going to be heading down, and we're going to go to find out, is Buane actually in go mode yet, or are we still looking for medallions?
Now, where is Ace going? He's going to be doing a lot of this game stuff.
It's a pet check.
Oh, good point. Yeah, we're going to see the potential final value that we have here for this book. And apparently we did want to see that Bombos medallion today because, not only, of course, does it find us our flute inside Turtle Rock, and also grants us fire.
Yeah, and that right there is going to give Buane a really big lead. He's going to be able to go mode Mire here. He'll head to GT immediately. We'll find out that it is that you've been wasting your time today with clearing your pendant dungeons. And right about now, I think Ace just has this Oh man, I'm feeling too much.
Yeah,
But
I mean, and for Ace is actually, I would say, done. I would say he's made some good decisions. Again, though, sometimes this case that some of these decisions just ended up not paying off. He had a really, really nice route to the hammer. Like, very, very, I would say, like, from my perspective, pretty creative and unexpected. And, it definitely net him a single dividend pod.
yeah.
Gave him back quite a bit of time for that.
Oh, definitely. No, I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying anything against Ace here. Of course, I mean, he's played this seed really well. But like at some point, you can see what he's doing here right now. He's kind of gaming against Turtle Rock. He goes, if it's in Turtle Rock, I've lost. I mean that's kind of what he's gaming at right now. Like, he's going to make these other checks first, and if he goes, if Buane beats me to Turtle Rock, I'm not going to win this here. So he's going to check some of these other places here. I wouldn't be surprised to see him clear out like Green Pendant and everything else while he's down here. Before
Yeah, that's also, I guess, a good point too, right? It's like he's also chasing, the mirror in this case, right? And I think it could have been very reasonable for either Boyne or Ace to just go back to, Turtle Rock, just run right back over after finding the mirror in, on Ether Tablet, right? And if Ace thinks that Boyne did that, then yeah, I can definitely see him, saying that Boyne definitely beat me over Turtle Rock. So if something's there, I've already lost. Otherwise, like, let's just keep going.
Yeah, because right now, I mean, this is Pyramid Fairy that he's gonna go pick up. Like
Oh,
he's
right.
not,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, he's not making his way up to Turtle Rock until that's his last location. So like, honestly, at some point, yeah, this is not a bad play. He's playing to what he believes his win condition is. And unfortunately for kind of unfortunately for him, it's Wayne has found the items that he needs, so like his win condition is power outage at this point almost.
Yeah, right. So, right, from a logical, like, item placement perspective, Ace is certainly not chasing the correct path in this case.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but but Ace is making the right play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. No. He is. He is. And this is also a testament to how good, Ace is. He knows in this case, what his outs are, and so he's going to play for those.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just kind of unfortunate on our side here because we know we know where it is, and so it's just like, well, go up the mountain, go up the mountain.
Well,
But I mean,
he's eventually gonna go up there, just because I think eventually he's just gonna run out of spots, not on the mountain. So.
yep, we got this mushroom to check. I wouldn't be surprised to see us turn around right now and see that green pendant in here in a second. But
Oh, right.
we got a vitreous fight over here on the Wayne side.
Yes. Buane also, so Buane, redeeming himself to show us the power of the silver arrows against Vitreous. It turns out also that the small eyeballs also only do need one arrow, and the big eyeball only needs two. So.
Oh, well, there we are.
It's very, very good education here for us.
Learn something every day.
Oh,
All right. Well,
by the way, did you count crystals? Are we doing something? Oh, looks like actually both Buane and Ace are going up the mountain here.
All right. You get a little bit of a somewhat sync here. Yeah, I do believe that Buane does have 7 crystals at the moment. So we are gonna move on to our figure out exactly where is that GT big key as soon as Buane kindly asks this Deadrock to vacate the premises. And sure enough, yep, there we go. On our way over there. So if you want, go ahead and get a number in there between 1 and 22 where you think that big key is going to show up in Ganon's Tower. If you're right, we're gonna maybe say your name on the stream. Yeah.
I was actually wondering, Dace, do you ever get road rage? Because I'm just kind of watching, like, on both sides, on Ace's side, on Buane's side, all these Deadrocks.
It's kind of, I mean, if with Deadrocks, I don't know if you'd necessarily call it road rage, but it definitely is rage. I mean, you know you're having a seed where if you just run into like a couple of dead rocks and you're just like, you know what, I'm having a bad time. You pull out that Quake medallion. You go, all right, boys, let's play.
Yeah, sounds yeah.
All right, so we're going to be entering GT here just before the 118 mark over on Buane's side.
Yeah, this is for actually all of the different things I would say that they had to do, 118 entry time is or sub 118 is actually pretty good. Buane certainly is very efficient. Ace is not going to be very far behind. I think he's going to get his food relatively shortly. Only just there's a couple screens away from here.
Yeah, he's not going to be far behind here. So it looks like for Buane, we are going to head left first. We're probably going to, looks like this is likely he's going to head to Stalfo's room, see if we get a full Dark Magician out of him. I believe that's his standard path.
Yes, that is the official coin route has been Buane's kind of go-to. Potentially also see a lot of other Dark Link sprite users do it. Maybe just more familiar to him since he is a NMG runner. NMG tends to at least go to left side first. Not this particular room, but that small key on the torch, that big key in Stalfo's room. What else are we gonna need before going straight up the tower?
Well, I mean, I believe that's it. And if I'm not wrong, that'd be 3 there for our big key there. So that G Storm 666. There you go. Well done, bud. All right, so now we get to see a nice NMG style gauntlet with silver arrows and silver arrows and blue mail. Maybe not quite NMG.
Yeah. Just a touch on the luxurious side, but I'm sure Buane hopefully knows what he's doing. Meanwhile, though, Ace did find his flute and activate it. He also did leave right after finding it, so of course we know kind of like a preview on Buane's side is that we do not need that Ether medallion today at all. We're never going to see it, so good thing that Ace didn't spend any more extra time into the rock.
Yeah, definitely here. So he'll make his way down. Unfortunately, that big key in Misery Mire is in just the best location.
Oh, yeah. It's your best, favorite. These are really very descriptive words, Dave.
I really got to work on my sincerity. You're right.
English is a wonderful language.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you teach English for a living there, and you have to teach. Okay, listen to my tone. Don't listen to the meaning of the words that I say. Wait, what? But let's see here. Okay, so we got a Landmo 2 silver fight. Buane just deciding I'm just gonna stick one in each, make it look like it's not actually difficult to do, having 4 arrows left for Buane even.
Yeah, that Lamos Silver's fight is surprising. I don't know. So if you land them the first time, just like what Buane did, it's like, oh yes, I can do this. You miss the timing, and it's very difficult to recover of one cycle for that matter.
Oh yeah, that one little pea shooter in there. I mean,
Yeah.
that guy causes so many problems there. If you get even slightly off cycle, even if you stay on cycle, that thing can just decide I'm gonna hit you this time.
Yep.
But yeah, Buane doesn't look like he's having any problem here. Gonna maybe take a quick magic pickup and then up to these next Torches 2 room here and light these 4 and be on his way. Alright, he missed a fire rod shot. I think we're gonna have to dock him some points on his artistic score here.
I'm trying to think. He does not have powder, actually, so he actually is gonna potentially not get a very timely refill in terms of his hearts. So blue males 6 hearts potentially going into the cannon fight. Maybe the Molder chest here will have that extra heart piece that he'll get his refill on.
Oh, he actually bothered to check it, so just 20 rupees there, so nice vanilla Moldorm 2 chest, but on to Aga 2 for him, and we'll get to see exactly what sort of crazy patterns this dumb wizard wants to give us today. Kind of interesting that he didn't pick up a single, that he didn't go ahead and pick up like a single Oh, did he just take a damage boost to get that? To try to get a triple there?
Yeah, this you know, like Aga 2 is such a difficult fight, but I mean, it's how you get a 123. Is you know, it's like knowing when to damage boost in order to try and get more energy shots. These patterns, by the way, are pretty awful.
Yeah, these are terrible patterns, but well done there. I know if I tried to do that damage boost strat there, I would have gotten a 0 on that. So I mean, I'm just shaking my head here, going, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Quite good at this game.
Yeah, there's a reason why Buane has a 123 energy type. You know, Aga 2, I think many people have gone on record saying that it is one of the most difficult fights in the game, even after so many rounds of practice.
I'm sitting here. We're talking. You're talking about him having a 123. He's going to be relatively close, depending on what Buane decides to do here.
Good point. Although,
Ace is making his way pretty quickly here. He's got his spooky setup.
I was gonna say only one more shot available.
Yeah, only one more. Unfortunately, kind of just missed it there. It looks like, so we're gonna have to do it the lame way, I suppose.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So you know, if we ever do a map check in this dungeon, you know, just light up one more room, you know, on Ace's side, just a little bit more completion, you know, as our cartographer.
Yep. Does seem that way. Okay, so Ganon is into phase 3 over on Buane's side. He's given him a bit of the business here, so it's going to be a 124. So utter disaster has struck in Buane on that side.
All right, that is a double. 2 more arrows, exactly what Buane has. Meanwhile, the Ace, a plethora of silver arrows in his quiver takes down Vitreous, no problem. But I think with that, 0 quivers left in Buane's arsenal, just enough in order to win this game. It reaches down to that for Buane, who is going to be moving on to the round of 8.
Yeah, great time there. As he finishes there with a time of 124.21. Well done to Buane. Really great timing, especially considering that double dip of pod leading to the hammer and everything involved there. Just kind of, I mean, great execution, great running, and I was about to say, did Ace get the exact same dead rock block on the way up?
Oh my gosh! You know, at least maybe a lesson here is that dead rocks are not discriminatory. Maybe
That's
you know.
They are jerks to everyone.
Yes, yeah, that's maybe about the nicest thing we can say about dead rocks.
Alright, well, Ace is going to go ahead and he's going to continue his way on up here, but it does look like we are joined in the commentary booth by our winner today. Buane, there, you're going to be moving on to round of 8. GG's, bud.
Yeah, GG's, Buane.
Hey, Clarence, hey, Dazed. How you guys doing?
Learning some things.
Yeah, pretty, it was one of those seeds that feels a lot worse than it actually is. Because in the middle of the, you know, when we're down to really just some pretty garbage options, no flute, no mirror, no hammer, things really start to feel really bad. But, I mean, really, as I'm kind of crunching the numbers headed towards GT, I started feeling pretty confident, realizing, like, there's so many really bad ways that you could mess this up, and I had luckily avoided most of the worst ways. So felt pretty good about what I'd done, even though it was one of those things that kind of felt worse than it really was.
A lot of your go ahead, Dazed.
No, you go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, so a lot of even like your early game routing decisions, they were, I guess, very efficient. You know, so one contrast with Ace decided to, I guess, do desert back to front, if he cleared out Lambos first before going to the desert right side. And then you went to the desert right side initially, and then, you know, got your hook shot, and then, you know, went on to the Dark Worlds. So, I mean, it just maybe, like, you know, little things, I guess, here and there, you know, somewhat more major things kind of, like, saved you a ton of time.
Makes sense. I was, you know, once you see Moon Pearl on the ledge, you know you're going to the ledge, so starting there, killing Lamo, Green Pendant, I did think about that, but it was also, you know, one item away from Dark World Access. If that's in here now, then I don't have to do that, and that feels good too. So, yeah, the early game stuff felt good because there were ways you could have sequenced that pretty incorrect too. So like I said, it's anytime that the hammer is that late, is gonna mess up most of your comfortable routing. And then on top of that, throw in like you don't have flute. You kind of want to go over to pod. How soon do you get over to the East Dark World? Once you go over there, you kind of feel like you have to do everything over there. Like there's a lot of weird stuff that comes up in MIT's Dark World access seeds every once in a while. But like I said, there were a lot of I was not that far off from doing like hammerless Ice Palace, so there were ways to have really gone wrong in this one.
Yeah, I mean, when you went into pod there, you got nothing, and Ace took the dark, the whirlpool down at the dark shopping mall area up to Catfish. So we got to see him get the hammer while you were still clearing out pod, and kind of was wondering if you were going to be saving and quitting out of pod to go chase Ice Palace or something like that. But yeah, you were able to avoid pretty much most of the pitfalls that you see.
That's actually interesting. I didn't really think about that kind of route to start your East Dark World there. I assume he would do like Catfish to Pyramid to pod, regardless of whether he finds hammer there. So that's kind of a neat twist on like a lot of times in that kind of layout you can see, and I've done this a number of times and gotten burned by it. You swim over to East Dark World and you just do Pyramid and Catfish and you say, I'm not going into pod without the hammer, and then like just hammers in pod and it's the last place you get to because you already went over there and it takes forever to get back. So right, exactly. Once you go over to that part of the world without the hammer, you feel like you kind of have to do everything. But it sort of does. I think I like what he did a little better, and it didn't even really occur to me. Starting at Catfish is kind of a little safer for exactly this reason. I like that.
Yeah, it's safer. Like the downside to it is if it turns out that hammer's just in pod and your opponent rushes pod, then you lose the time that you swam down the Catfish and everything else like that. But I mean, you do protect yourself against something stupid being at Catfish, like today.
Like the hammer.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm curious, Buane. So I guess when you were in Hera, so after you got the mirror off of Aether's tablet, you went into Hera, which is very reasonable. And then after you got both items, do you have a reason for, I guess, like killing Moldor at the time?
I mean, I wasn't even sure if I was going into Hera, but like, I honestly thought for a little bit after it was mirror on the tablet, I considered doing Hera and Turtle Rock right there. Because like you could go two directions. You could commit to Turtle Rock while you're up here on the mountain, and you could commit to Swamp into Pyramid Ferry, and then clean up all the garbage overworld stuff. And once it ended up being Ice Rod, it kind of was just like, well, is it pedestal now? Like, did he do Green Pendant early? Do I want to just make it safe? And it's probably a mistake anyway, because like as I was going up there, I realized it was probably a mistake regardless, because like if it was pedestal and you got there after clearing T-Rock later, it's not that hard to just run back over and kill Moldorm. You're not saving yourself that much time. So I regretted it after I did it, but it was sort of just the surprise of seeing Ice Rod. What? Question mark? So yeah, I didn't like it as I was doing it, but like obviously in this game, like once you commit to something for 2 seconds, you can't go back on what you were thinking. I had to stick it out and kill Moldorm. Yeah, I don't even know if that whole Hera idea was good or not. It seems awfully greedy to just determine like, okay, Flute is 100% going to be behind the mirror, which is what it feels like if you don't do Hera there. But yeah, I probably should have just realized, okay, Ice Rod, no big deal. We'll just leave, and if we do have to kill Moldorm, we have to come back for T-Rock anyway. We'll do it later. I don't know. I was sort of just not prepared to see Ice Rod, and I guess you like to have that mental preparation, like, what do I do if I see this item right now? And certainly Ice Rod was not on my radar at that point, because I was already thinking, okay, Pen and T-Rock, you don't really care if you have the Ice Rod, so T-Rock was sort of where it was, regardless of whether or not the Ice Rod popped up.
I think that's actually very fair. It's actually a good point. I mean, I didn't actually like. I personally didn't realize that. I was just like, oh, 2 items are done. Like, you really need the pendant at this point. But yeah, Ice Rod actually potentially does give a little bit more potential to that pedestal.
Yeah, but like I said, I think it's wrong because if you gotta get it, you have to go all the way through T-Rock anyway. So like you just run back over from Old Arm after Turtle Rock. It's not that much more time, and the likelihood of it being pedestal is extremely low at that point anyway. So yeah, just sort of just one of those like panic moments. Like wasn't expecting this item. I guess that means I killed the boss.
Yeah, it's Moldorm after a point too. I mean, like if you're already up there.
Yeah, and at that point, with how the seed had played out, this was very unlikely to be one of those like it's going to come down to 1 minute. You know, either like one of us was going to fall in a big pit or make a huge big play and save some time. At no point did I think I was going to lose by a minute or win by a minute in this. It was either Ace was going to finish as I was entering GT because he just like went straight to the T-Rock or something, or I was going to win by 5 minutes because he did Ice Palace or, you know, something crazy like that before Hammer. So I wasn't too worried about like, oh, I just wasted all this time killing Moldorm, but it definitely was poor prep on my part because I should have been able to react to what I saw there a little faster and not commit to Moldorm. But like I said, at the end of things, there were a lot of things that I didn't do that I could have fallen into and spent time doing, you know, like Purple Chest and some of the other mirror overworld spots that I never doubled back to. So, like I said, can't really complain overall. Everything that done.
Yeah, no, right. So speaking of, Ace actually ended up defeating Ganon, taking second place of this round of 16 match. Get your G's on chat for Ace. He, you know, performed extremely well, executed quite well. You know, and again, I think maybe contrary to, you know, kind of your strategy or maybe your approach to this seed, you know, you mentioned earlier, Buane, like you kind of seemed like actually, you know, you were kind of more rushing either like density or dungeons. Ace, on the other hand, in this case, he chased a lot more like mirror locations, right? He did, you know, he did K45, he did Graveyard Ledge. Definitely was a bit more thorough when it came to kind of clearing out, I guess in this case, the overworlds. Speaking of, we have Ace here with us. Ace, GG's.
Thanks,
Yo,
Buane.
GG.
Thoughts in this case about maybe like the general way that you played the seed, Ace? Did you, I guess, like, did you feel behind or ahead at all? I guess especially maybe in the earlier games.
Yeah, it was a really weird seed. It was like because the beginning felt really NMG, and that's really bad when you're playing Buane. So I obviously felt behind. Like, okay, we get Bow. You just obviously go to Eastern, then you do Eastern Palace. You get the book. You go to Desert. It's like this is not what I want. This is bad. But it was still like really straightforward and smooth, comfortable. I felt really good about the hammer. I suspect I was earlier to that. And then I followed it to full clear a bunch of stuff to get nothing. And then felt really, really bad when I got my mirror. And then even worse when I did all the mirror checks and got nothing. And then went back to TR with like nothing left, obviously, for go mode. How did you do that, Buane? Like, how did you get the last couple things? Because that's really the only divergence I would suspect was at the end, probably, right?
Yeah, somewhat. After, so I did Death Mountain and Dark Death Mountain first for the Fire Rod before I went over to Skull, and then cleared Thieves, went all the way down, picked up the Smith, and got the Hype Cave, and decided I'm gonna just go do Pod and Pyramid and Catfish. So I started that trip at Pod. So I did Pod, nothing. Pyramid, Catfish, got my hammer, went back to Pod, and then followed you probably through Ice Palace and all the rest of the hammer stuff that had opened. When I went up finally to get my mirror, I cleared out Hera and then went to do the obvious swamp to Pyramid Fairy to what was after that, the mushroom, wherever mushroom popped up, turned in mushroom. And at that point went back up to get T-Rock there. So I didn't clear out the rest of the mirror overworld stuff there. I kind of just went for the dense stuff. I thought momentarily like committing to T-Rock after Hera also. Like I saw like the two paths after the mirror showed up was like, okay, you can go back down and do all the mirror stuff, Swamp Palace, Pyramid Fairy, the mirror checks on the overworld, or you could be really crazy and do Hera and T-Rock, which you're right up here. Which doesn't feel right, so I didn't do that, but I thought about it. It was definitely like a path that you could go through. Especially after Ice Rod popped up in Hera, it's like, okay, well now, hey, if I do these two things and it's wrong, maybe it's Pedestal, and maybe he didn't do Green Pendant yet, and you still have maybe a couple outs there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there weren't the first 40 minutes of the seed. There was really like only one path. There's only one way to do it, and really until you got to like Hype Cave and had to make a decision after getting nothing for all that Dark World stuff. Then it was like the only feeling I had like when I was opening GT was like, this is not going to be one of these seeds where one of us wins by a minute or 30 seconds. It's going to be like one of us took a big chunk out of it. Either like you went to T-Rock way earlier than me, or I got up there way earlier. It was going to be like a 5-minute difference, because there were some ways that you really could have wasted a lot of time in this. I was very, very close to doing Ice Palace without the hammer. Like when I had to decide what to do after Hype Cave, it was either go over to East Dark World and overwrite your Smith, or go do all the Smith stuff and then eventually end up in Ice Palace. Like that was like the two paths in my mind at that point. So
right,
that would have been very bad.
Yeah, I guess it sounds like I didn't do as much more than you as I expected. Like I definitely did like K45, Graveyard Ledge. I even stopped to like check Ped because I was like, well, if it's Ped, I don't know. I felt really bad about that because I thought about checking Ped earlier, so when I went up to Death Mountain, I would know like if I should do it, but it just felt so out of the way without Hammer to like go up there and check Pedestal and then like run back to go back to Dark World, like around the long way. Like, I don't know. It didn't make sense.
I didn't have Green Pendant, so I never killed Lamo, so the Pedestal wasn't until Ice Rod popped up in Hera. I wasn't even thinking anything Pedestal related, since I had not just Mitts and then Moon Pearl. I didn't kill Lanmo in the early game.
Okay, yeah, I got the big key and I went out to get my Moon Pearl and do the boss first before the right side in case there was an item there, like along with the pendant. But unfortunately, it's not Ambrosia. If only this was an Ambrosia tournament.
If it was an Ambrosia seed, I probably would have done the exact same thing because I always forget that in Ambrosia seeds. So I actually, that makes a lot of sense. Once you see the items on the ledge, like it's totally reasonable to do the dungeon like that.
Yeah, especially
I didn't even consider it, but
especially with the big key right there. Like the big key was on the torch, so you're already like going to the left, pushing you that direction, but no mirror to get back. Like
that's totally reasonable. And Clear Mouse and Daze were telling me about your East Dark World routing starting at Catfish. I actually like that a lot. It's not something I ever considered, but in instances like this where you're missing the hammer, it makes probably a little bit more sense to start up there at Catfish for exactly seeds like this where you don't end up double dipping pod. So I like what you did there, and you were rewarded for that because you didn't have to do what I did, which was spend. I think I got 4 loops of the overworld music in my run from pod to the pyramid to Catfish and then back to pod. Like I don't think I've ever heard the overworld music play that long uninterrupted.
Oh, for sure, it's
that was a fun trip.
I think I probably lost most of that time though the way I did Smith Chain because you said you didn't do Purple Chest. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean I went back. I overwrote the Smith at Hype Cave when I went over to pod.
Okay.
But I did eventually go later, like digging spot into the first bottle that we got in Ice Palace or whatever. That was super late. So dig spot into the bottle turn in, and I was like, if I don't like at least make sure I didn't miss something stupid here on Smith, I'm gonna lose to all of these locations. Plus, then we had hammer pegs in Logic 2 by that point with hammer, so I cleaned up a little bit. I did do the Smith, but never did Purple Chest, basically.
Okay, yeah, I did both of them. I guess Smith wasn't any slower, but Purple Chest, right before getting the mirror, felt awful.
Yeah.
But most of the time was probably just execution then that you had on me. That would make sense.
Well, shout out to the Master Sword and Escape for the sub 5.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Really nice escape time, Buane. Very impressive.
Mine was not quite sub 5, but it was like 509, I think. I had like a bad couple of rooms at the end, but still, that's really good.
For some reason, 504 sticks in my head. But yeah, I mean, both of you went through that escape sequence there blindingly fast. So well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, right, in terms of, I think, execution, like, I think, Ace, I think you played actually quite well. Probably the only time gap, I think, maybe initially was maybe just due to, I would say, more minor differences for routing, like, well, I mean, like, even outside of, like, the Green Pendant, like, you went up to Death Mountain first, I think, before going over to Desert, right? So then you maybe had, like, a little bit of extra mountain time. But then I think probably the major divergence was at the end, right, where you decided to chase the mirror versus Buane just went to, he went to Turtle Rock. So, and like the longer you delayed your time to Turtle Rock, probably was like the longer in this case, like the gap was going to be. I will say though that Ace, I believe that you had definitely gained time over Buane on Argus.
Oh no!
On
All I
Argus.
could think,
Oh.
all I could think of while it was happening was like the Lane clip playing over and
Oh,
over in my head.
I
I was like, this can't be happening right now. And I honestly too, what was really killing me was I couldn't remember how much damage he did. And I had 3 hearts. And I was like, do I die in one hit here? And that was just completely throwing me off because I was like trying to make sure to not get hit again.
Oh, man.
And I'm pretty sure he only does 2 hearts of damage now that I think about it. I didn't know in
He
the
does.
moment. So I was just like, I wasn't even close with any of the arrows. And then it took me like 4 fire rod shots to even hit him once. So that was not a fun time.
It doesn't
I had
sound
fun.
like it.
This is my hubris for skipping the very easy blue mail like at the 5-minute mark that I was like, we don't need that. And then almost died in Thieves Town and almost died to Argus. So jokes on me.
I can relate to that. I think it's interesting too. I don't know if you remember, Buane, the last time we faced off in tournament, where I got mirrors super early at Catfish and then followed the mirror to check everything, and it was your go mode. And you beat me by like not doing any mirror checks. So I really wanted to make sure I did Catfish early in case something good was there again. And then when I got mirror, I was like, well, I need to check it now because it's like I want to win by the same strategy that cost me last time, but it just cost me again.
That's rando for you.
Double down on it.
That's okay. You could triple down next time. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Next match, you know where I'm going. I'm going to Catfish. I'm going to follow the mirror.
It's funny, we did have like the 2 big items that were so late, hammer and mirror, like the 2 big variance items. Like when you don't find those so early, it's like there's such a big difference sometimes, depending, if you find them faster than your opponent, it can be bad, or other times if you find them faster than your opponent, it's really good. And it's like those 2 items when they're not. There's just so much standard routing that you like to do with early hammer and or early mirror. And it gets a little weird when we don't have those. So like I said, like the only thing I was sure of late in this one was like one of us is going to win by 5 minutes because it's so unlikely we took equal paths over the second half of the seed, regardless of which one of us did what. So I when I'm in that situation, like it's always nerve-wracking when you're just expecting a dot done any minute. And this was at least a little more comfortable because like once I dropped again, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is just a win because it's not going to be super close. So at least that was a little bit comfortable. But I could absolutely have seen myself losing by 5 minutes too, because just like the double dip of pod and the potential to just jump into T-Rock way earlier, and all the running around. It felt so slow in the mid game when we weren't finding anything. It just felt like you must be doing something wrong, even though I think both of us probably in retrospect would look back and be like, yeah, everything we did was reasonable, but it just felt so slow in the moment, and that kind of colors what you do the rest of the seed because you feel like you're super behind. So just a very weird one, but look, it's fun. I've had I'm so happy with the quality of players that I've been able to play all through this tournament. I feel like it's probably of the people in the tournament, I feel like I've had the strongest opponents, and that's always my goal is to just play matches against really good players. So even just in brackets, forget about the group that I had. Just in brackets, it's been Matt, Cap, and Skelly and Ace. That's really those are really tough players. So
no free win next week either against Hitsu.
Against Hitsu. I was kind of hoping to get the Fox matchup, but Hitsu will be a fun one. We've had a lot of matchups, and Like it's all gravy. You just try to have fun playing matches against really good players and try to walk away from it having no regrets and like, oh, if only I had done this, or I really was so close to doing X and I talked myself out of it, and then X would have made me win. So just try to not have those kind of things. Leave it all out there and have fun, because eventually you're always vulnerable to something when you play rando. So it's just a matter of time before it bites everyone. So it'll be fun. We'll see what Hitsu does. I haven't played him in a while. We get matched up on. We had a good run of getting matched up on ladder a bunch of times, but I don't think I've played him for a bit.
Yeah, also kind of this is a best of one too, right? So one decision can really just make or break your tournament run.
Sure. Yep. That's the fun.
Yep. Well, it was a fun tournament. I definitely enjoyed all my matches. Thanks for the good race, Buane. Thanks for the commentary, Clear Mouse, Days Cloud. Whoever was tracking is appreciated.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lady Laura Linda. She's phenomenal. She's done an amazing job. Certainly one of the trackers I really like seeing a lot, basically to help us out. So thank you so much. And thank you guys again coming to the interview, talking to us. Thank you, Ace. Thank you, Point. You guys did. I think you guys played very well. Made very reasonable decisions. But again, this is rando. You make different decisions. Potentially, at most, one of them is going to pay off, right? So. And best of one, so it was really fun time to be able to watch you guys, and of course, Buane, good luck against Hitsu. Should be a very spicy match. Get your popcorn out for that one. So I think actually in terms of other matches, I think there should be one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Telethar versus GGW, 5 p.m. Eastern. Any other thoughts? I guess before we kind of close things out.
Yeah, just GG to Ace again. Thanks to you guys for the commentary work. It'll be a fun one to watch back.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dace. It was a ton of fun. Really, always appreciate being able to talk with you in the commentary booth.
I had a great time. I mean, I know it's always fun when we can get a chance to do one of these together, and especially a race of this caliber. I mean,
oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, these guys gave us lots to talk about, routing wise, execution wise. It was a ton of fun. So yeah, thanks to both of them for letting us put them on today. And again, like you said, big thanks to Lady Laura Linda there for making sure that everybody knew exactly what the heck's going on the entire time. And other than that, Clear Mouse, it's great times as always. And I'll let you say goodbye to everybody, I suppose.
I think that's all I had. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, again for the late night rando. Until then, have a great night.